So what is cross country? Well, cross country is probably the most popular form of organised mountain bike racing. Competitors line up, grid up next to each other, and when the gun goes, it simulates the start of the race. What's very different about cross country, say to downhill or enduro, is its mass start and you can see your exact position within the race. But don't be fooled, cross country riders are still extremely fit, well disciplined, and despite claims, they can still descend super fast. So cross country can mean a number of different things depending on who you ask. It can mean just getting out for a big ride in the wilderness, exploring a new region, or it can be the racing element. For me, it's always been about the racing. And believe it or not, I've actually done a few races in my time. I used it predominantly as cross training for when I was racing downhill and enduro. Cross-country racing has been going on as a World Cup event for quite some time now, but it became an Olympic sport in 1996. And to this day, it's still the only mountain bike discipline in the Olympics. The Pinnacle Series is a World Cup, where you have to battle on up to 8 courses year-round, remain consistent and push your physical abilities, whilst you're managing the stress, travel and training. But of course there is that elusive rainbow stripes, where you battle one day to get the World Championship title. So what's the best to win? Well, I'm sure that there's no better feeling than getting that gold medal around your neck at the Olympics. If you are training for your first cross-country race, then I'd recommend spending some time on the road bike and building some base miles, pushing yourself with intervals, and spending some time in the gym to build up your strength work. But don't forget, cross-country racing and training is taxing on the body, so do spend some time recuperating, eating well and sleeping well. For cross-country, you are allowed to pre-sight the course a number of times before your race, and it can be a great opportunity to plan key passing points, plan your attacks, identify climbs and check technical sections. So there has been a bit of a myth surrounding cross-country races, and that is that they can't descend. Well, if you've watched any of the World Cups from last year, or in fact the World Championships, you may have seen a certain rider, Nino Schurter. Now, he's pretty renowned for being very fast at descending and also threw some style over the jumps. We've also seen him at a few enduro races where he did pretty well. And you may have seen GMBN's very own video where Mark Beaumont takes on Nino Schurter at the Lenzerheide World Cup. And I think that the myth of cross-country riders not being able to descend, well, I think that Nino surely proves that is blown out of the water. The bikes are built to be super lightweight, very stiff to maximise any power that the rider puts through the crank to accelerate the bike forward. And generally you'll find that the frames are manufactured from carbon, but sometimes you may even see aluminium or titanium frame sets. Comparing it to a downhill bike is the opposite end of the spectrum. Long stems, 100mm of travel that are generally hardtail, and big 29-inch wheels. Skinny tyres finish off the build and carbon rims tend to be found on the bike to minimise any excess weight. So once you've got your bike, you're not going to need much else in the way of kit. I would recommend going out and getting some cycling specific clothing, especially a chamois short, as we all know that after hours, well, it just becomes a little bit unpleasant. Not only does the lycra look great, however, it is very practical. It's both aerodynamic, and when you've got the saddle up high, you've got that added benefit of being nice and mobile to get over the back. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of what cross-country is, the history behind the sport and some of the training that you might want to do. You never know, it might even give you some motivation to enter your first race. But for more great videos on GMBN, why not click up there for a pro bike playlist? You'll see Nino Schurter's bike in there, and click down there for our cross-country riders fast on descents. And if you haven't done, before you watch those two videos, click right in the middle to subscribe. It's free and you get a great video every day of the week. If you like this video as well, give us a thumb up like,